Hey folks, today we are in Chelsea. Chelsea has a lot of very interesting attractions, and the first thing that comes to mind when you say Chelsea, the old Chelsea, is the Chelsea Hotel. Do you want to stay there? I'm not sure, but it is a very iconic place where a lot of famous individuals have lived. Not necessarily wealthy, but maybe they were down on their times, but they learned to write and live in the city of New York and make their fortunes at the Chelsea Hotel. It is on the register of national places to see. So we start out here at the Chelsea Hotel, and we go through various parts of Chelsea. It takes its name originally from a London neighborhood called Chelsea, through a bunch of different variations, from building a hospital and people who owned this whole area. Like most parts of New York City, were all farms and mansions and things like that. So today it is a neighborhood that extends from 6th Avenue over there. You see 6th Avenue? Well, we'll walk over there. That's on the east, to the Hudson River on the west. And around 14th Street to 30th Street. That's sort of the rough. There are a lot of new parts of Chelsea. Obviously Hudson Yards, which we have toured in the past, is part of Chelsea, or was in the area of Chelsea, but it's completely different now. And we'll walk around in different areas, so you'll get a flavor for various things that you can see here and experiences. Christopher Butt, Willie Corcoran Group. Follow me, subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you have questions about anything New York. I find people homes in New York and all over the country, and sometimes other countries. So happy to help you. Christopher Butt, Willie Corcoran Group. There is a sign with lovely wrought iron balconies. We are walking right in front of Chelsea Hotel. There's Cafe Chelsea. There have been a whole host of different establishments, restaurants, clubs. Everything keeps changing. But the Chelsea Hotel has been here. Virgil Thompson, Landmarks of New York, Chelsea Hotel, Sir Arthur Clarke, Shirley Clarke, a lot of famous people. Leonard Cohen. There you go. Just to mention a few. Jerome Thomas, Arthur Miller. And this is all still the Chelsea Hotel, but there's a bar that's been here a little while. Don Quixote. I guess it's after Don Quixote. Chelsea Vacuum Cleaner Repairs and Parts. Now that's an old sign. That establishment no longer exists. It's just part of this bar now. Now we're also in a very interesting part of the year here in New York City. There are a few days called Manhattanhenge. And Manhattanhenge basically is a time of year when the sun aligns with the east-west grid of Manhattan. It's a little bit off to the south here, but the last couple of days it supposedly has been setting right in the middle, crossing right in the middle of the street here, down the yellow line. I don't see Manhattanhenge exactly. I see some clouds, but we are walking along now. There's a big empty spot there, and that makes me think a brand new development will be going up there. It's very coveted real estate, pretty old buildings, the historic Chelsea Hotel, and now something brand new. Well, that's New York. Those are old co-ops, a lot of interesting shops, bars. We're walking towards the water here. Vegan, urban vegan. Lovely little cash machines. I love those. This one's not as interesting.
Okay, she'll make that.
Some of them are just a work of art with all the graffiti. Now, this place has been here for a while. Trailer Park Lounge and Grill. And let you see some new buildings. This is the train station on 23rd Street. C&E. I just came out of the one train, large BBQ. It's a store that's been moving around the city. May have had more than one location at some point, but they specialize in very large portions of, especially of drinks and other kinds of food. Hopefully we make it down. Well, we have to make it down to Chelsea Market, Chelsea Piers on the Hudson River, and we'll walk probably a little later today in that direction. Now we're just going to go try to get to 7th Avenue, 6th Avenue before the light fades on this side, because it stays pretty bright. The light by the water obviously is on the Hudson. It's western light, so we're going to have a lot of light there today. I believe the sun sets around 8:30. We're in July, middle of July pretty much. So here we have another set of Chelsea sort of landmarks, these buildings here. I believe they were from the Mitchell-Lama era. What on earth is that? In New York City, establishment. Back in the day, the government somehow managed to provide very low-cost housing through the Mitchell-Lama, and I believe they paid rents but they were controlled by the city. And there's a waiting list a mile long to get into these apartments. But once you're in, you pay very little. Now here we are back on 23rd and 9th. Another diner here. Chelsea Square Restaurant. There's Select Bus, older buildings. I believe this is a co-op. May have shown here once. And that's a nice collection of rent-stabilized buildings. They're very, very difficult to get into. Not sure if this is an art gallery, performance space. Used to be Stribling real estate, but I guess it's a performance space now. These beautiful stairs. And if you don't like stairs, you can always move into the Leo house. That's if there's an available apartment. And we have Katy Perry training some dogs here. Dog training and daycare. Sinai Doctors, and there's a very large Dallas BBQ where all the helpings are massive. Liquor store, sushi. Lovely little. I guess they're not using that right now. And we come to the corner of 8th Avenue and 23rd. We're doing a little cross section of Chelsea here, nice and fast. Sure there are no bikes coming, no cars turning. A lovely Target store in this rather new building. More building going up over there, and then at the distance is the New York Times building. The Flea Grill, a fast food eatery. That is the C train on the 8th Avenue subway. Detroit Pizza. 7th Avenue and 23rd Street, where I will be catching the 1 train back up to the office. There's a Chelsea Papaya on the corner, and a hot dog / everything else stand in the middle of the street. Now there's a Chelsea Papaya, gives hot dogs, and a very large coffee shop called Coffee. What an appropriate name. Face gallery in Chelsea. No. Is this wild?
There's this Pier history and this more history, and that's why she kind of multiple narration going on at the same time. And it's an inspirational painting in the sense of marking, and this connects also with the Asian war aesthetics. So all the elements that you see there are standing for something else, especially kind of showing this dynamic of power. They're more like in the field of semiotics, so that it's more a building that she's making, combining different sources. And in this show is a continuation of her show that she had last year in London.
Something you see a lot around New York City. Work in progress, residential. Well, this is Archstone, I believe, a residential rental building. And then we walk through these sheds. This is a detour around the sidewalk that we're supposed to be walking. There is Chelsea on bus, now leasing. Canvas. Used to see 2 times. I've been in that building when I know I was leasing out the apartments there, and it's all leased out now except for renewals. There are quite a few of these. Oh, look at this little things you find as you walk around the city. What is it? Who painted it? Not quite sure. A lot of little rental buildings, co-ops. See the mix of architecture from brand new, really old. Some of the buildings were from the 1800s. I think most of the buildings that were here in the 1700s are now gone. That's your typical New York City brick townhouse, yoga and Vedanta center. And then we come across a huge city building got the seal of the city of New York. So maybe a school. I'm guessing it's a school. Looks very school-like. Yeah, it looks like some school projects. Oh, so this is High School of Fashion Industries, Board of Education, City of New York. There is no longer a Board of Education. It was taken over by the mayor, previous mayor, 2 mayors ago, and it's now the Department of Education. But this school obviously is dedicated mainly to fashion, and we'll be coming up on Fashion Institute of Technology. Fashion Institute of Technology is a very unique school. There's some other good fashion schools here, but the Fashion Institute of Technology is a government, city or state-run school. And because it is state-run, the tuition for in-state residents is very, very low. And it's a very good school. So it's a deal with some of this architecture here. The old YMCA, isn't that lovely? Everybody's taking these city bikes out. They're all empty. A few of them at the very end. It's a beautiful day, why not? Whole Foods Market, for those of you who, I think it's East Coast, is it? I know they have them in Boston, other parts of the country as well. But it's a New York establishment as well. Whole Foods, if you live near a Whole Foods, that raises your property values because you can go purchase high-end, sometimes they call it whole paycheck. A very good market for wholesome foods and eventually taken over by Amazon. So it's part of Amazon now. There's architecture. So this Whole Foods Market is actually in a loft building. We're on 7th Avenue now. We'll come back Central 24th. See some more modern buildings. I believe those are rental. The Whole Foods has an entrance and exit. Very large space here. It's waiting to cross, and I will show you the front of it, which is a Chelsea Mercantile. So that's the Whole Foods behind me. And other side is Whole Foods, and in the middle is the entrance to the Chelsea Mercantile, which is a massive loft building, residential now. And I've seen some of the apartments in there. Very nicely done. Obviously, it's a condo, I believe, so every apartment's different at this point. And the renovations were done by various different buyers. I'm not sure if there was once a developer that renovated all of them, but they're on a level where, and an age group where they're probably all renovated by different individuals as they purchase them and sell them. We've also a co-op over there, Ciao Bella Pizza, or regular New York style. This one's not doing too well. Maybe it's just closed on a Sunday. Not common. Gourmet Deli, they're open all the time. Coffee roasters. Now this is a very good coffee shop. Variety. They have a few locations downtown Brooklyn. Have had them cater a few events and make very good coffee. And we are on 25th Street. So we're going to get close to the Fashion Institute of Technology that I just spoke about. And I've got to keep my camera out here. There's a bar over there. I can show you that somewhere, nowhere, that tall building. You can see amazing views, nightclub and other events. Rose, another hotel. There are a lot of these hotels in this area. And then they have their amenities spaces. Here we go up 7th Avenue, getting into the 20s. And ahead of us, fortunately, cut out some of the sidewalk views here. Not as nice. 7 Grams Coffee. Now this is a nice building, loft building. Some of them have apartments. Some of them have offices. Again, old factory buildings still around. And ahead of me is the Fashion Institute of Technology, FIT. DIG is, I believe, a New York establishment. Several branches. Chipotle, as you know, is all over the country. Subway, all sorts of fun places to eat around the campus and the city, of course. Not everyone here is for the Fashion Institute of Technology. See, maybe we could go across at some point. Vintage clothing. Hopefully that's your Chipotle. Pop-up vintage clothing. So I guess I'm just taking that store temporarily. Traffic's dying down here. And let's see if we can cross. It's going to turn right here. So far, far away, it's Times Square. Not that far. It's walkable for some of us. And here's a museum at FIT, all fashion driven. Some of my neighbors teach here fashion design. I actually took a class here many years ago in medium format fashion photography. What else? So this little, it goes over 27th Street. There's a subway stop here. There are those buildings again from the Mitchell-Lama. Kind of curvy driveways through those streets are very curvy. but that's the way that development was built. Again, all old factory buildings. And here is being hyperhuman. Okay, here we are in front of the Fashion Institute of Technology school run by the state and therefore subsidized. So very good in-state tuition if you do live in New York State, interested in fashion or photography or a related field. It's a very good deal. I'd like to have some very fun exhibits. Sargent in Paris. Now, that is the Met at Fifth Avenue. And Singer Sargent, I believe, was a very famous American painter. But this is a 3D recreation. That's me in the reflection of one of the Sargent paintings out here on the sidewalk of the Fashion Institute of Technology. Now we go a little further here on 28th Street, a street I've been on before. I think I've mentioned there are some areas of New York City that are dominated, or at least where a certain trade would concentrate. Because before the internet, we had, of course, the Yellow Pages. You couldn't just order stuff on the Yellow Pages. You wanted to go look at it. So they had neighborhoods where you could just go look for certain things. This happens to be Flower District. I used to come here for some photo shoots back in the day, and I remember there were a lot of flower stores. If you look over there, is Ruscus Flowers. So there's a lot of these districts have dwindled because of the internet, but there are definitely remnants. There's a fur shop and flowers. I guess they do flowers in the summer and furs in the winter. No, other way around. Floral event designs, Empire cut flower. Obviously, it's a little after. It's a Sunday and it's after work hours, so can't see too many flowers out being sold, but I have been here when they just line the sidewalks with flowers. People just come in and buy them. Oh, hello. It's a flower cat. What do you know? Vase source, or vase, as some people say. Holiday foliage. So this block is pretty much the flower district, or what's left of it. I think last time I mentioned the meatpacking district. It was in another video where we walked through it used to be the meatpacking district, basically no more because it was moved up to the Bronx, but you can still see a lot of flowers. Not that many people want to go all the way up to the Bronx to buy their flowers in bulk. Again, these are all wholesale mostly. And then they just take the real estate and build. A Loft, XYZ Lounge, nice hotel, sort of a boutique style, but pretty tall. You can bring your dogs. See paw prints. And we have remains lighting, so we did talk about the Bowery. The Bowery was the lighting district. Opera Flora, Cambria Hotel, some nice flowers painted on the wall there. Sort of moving through the flower district, some of these old buildings, fresh foliage and flowers, but obviously today being a Sunday, they are all closed, and you'll get to see the graffiti on these old stores. Now we come up on 6th Avenue. 6th Avenue is this borderline. It's the eastern border. What's in there? Look at that, empty lot. You're going to build something there. The eastern border of Chelsea. Look at that, the Moxie Hotel. And back to B&J Florist Supplies. Tropical plants and orchids. And we know it's over when we see McDonald's. They do not sell flowers. So on 6th Avenue, we're going to have a different flavor. This is, again, the eastern edge of Chelsea. So we decided to come here. Still a lot of light. And if you look up there, over there is 34th Street, the Empire State Building. Hotel, the Virgin Hotel, I believe. I think I went to a rooftop there and didn't see any fireworks. Do not go there for fireworks unless they're on the west of the Hudson River. The east side, they will not visit that. I believe there's another very interesting hotel. Yeah, it's very, very chic. And the Noma. So this area right to the east of us and north a bit is called Nomad, north of Madison Square. So Madison Square is a park. 5th Avenue and 23rd around the Flatiron. Up there is Macy's and the sort of very Midtown West area. And then over here is still considered, a lot of these are considered Chelsea high-rises. This avenue here, 6th Avenue, has a lot of apartment buildings, very sort of generic sense that they're modern, got all the amenities, but none of the character. All right, so Two Brothers Pizza is one of the many establishments here in Midtown that offers very low price pizza. Just walk in and price $1.50. Now we do have $1 pizza, but maybe they're gone. I think they've changed their prices to $1.50. But late at night, people are hungry and they don't want to spend a lot of money. They walk through and get a $1.50 cheese slice. Now the others are more expensive, so you get attracted by the price and walk in and get something with a million toppings and pay a lot more. That's still on 6th Avenue here. They have them throughout Midtown. Well, we've been in this area before. This is 23rd Street, and behind me is, Italy is a block down that way, and we went to the Flatiron area. That's all along 23rd. But now we're going to the west of 6th Avenue, still on 23rd. So we're going to head down 6th and see a part of Chelsea. This is the eastern part of Chelsea, western part being over there where that sun is trying to set. Here there is a bath station. What is that, you say? A bath station is actually a way to get to New Jersey. There are a few of them, 32nd, 23rd, something Christopher Street. So based on where you want to go in New Jersey and where you are in Manhattan, there are various, it used to be $1 to get on the fast train, I think it's more now. I think you can actually use your Metro card or something, some New York City, which we now have tap and go cards. Probably use your credit card. Oh, here's Burlington Coat Factory. Been here for a while. See these old loft buildings, a very New York fixture. These buildings are held up by these pillars. They were industrial buildings back in the day. And as you see, this is a store now. Caroline, it's actually a much more modern building, but sort of in the same style. So that's a rental building over there. We just came down through 6th Avenue, a whole bunch of high-rise rental buildings. And well, they're all nice and nothing that remarkable. Some interesting things for sale on the street. For those of you who remember CDs, oh, even a laptop. What do you know? We're coming more into a district which was called Ladies Mile at one point. Let's see if we can get over there and see some of the gorgeous buildings that were built for the ladies' stores. Nice views down the avenue, World Trade Center down there. Quite a ways away, but it's big. Well, a little bit of the sun there. That's through a tree. These are some of the buildings I was speaking of. This area was one point department stores or arcades for the ladies. 1800s, maybe the early 1900s. Still a lot of shops in here. Trader Joe's, not the far cry from the ladies' stores. Michael's, Starbucks, and the $10 shop. What do you know? We still have a $10 shop. Some of the beautiful architecture on the ladies' mile. A little bit more of it to display here. And we'll keep going. More sunlight over there. Sun's trying to set along the grid here pretty much. So a day after Manhattanhenge, we still have a little bit of that effect left. It sets right along the grid of Manhattan. And here we are on Ladies Mile in Manhattan. These sections were built for stores catered to ladies, garments, hence the name Ladies Mile. Let's look at some of these again. Across the street here, the Hugh O'Neill. Well, he must have been a pretty smart man. Have his own building, so beautiful. On this side, we're coming up on an old secret. This is the Madras Dosa, Sophie's Cuban, Japanese. Well, I think that one's gone. Look at that. A Limelight, coal-fired pizza. What's so special about that, you ask? I have a lot of noise here. So the Limelight was actually a club. This old church was turned into a club. Right now it's coal-fired pizza, but it's kind of notorious. Back in the day, Limelight was where people came to dance, the night away, club, party, and unfortunately do a lot of drugs. There were a lot of rooms in the back, and it's part of the beauty here, but that's what led to its downfall and shut down after a long career of being a premier nightclubs. I've been there many occasions, even though I didn't go clubbing that often, but this old church locked up here. Maybe we can see a little bit. into the corridor. That's just pizza. Ah, it's like a church, but it's pizza. I think I'll look back in here. So, other parts of the church there. And you could run around in the back, various different rooms or chapels or whatever they were at one point. They obviously were rooms for people to hang out in, different decors, and eventually became a den of drugs. More Ladies' Mile buildings. You got Blick Art Materials, 20th Street here. I think one of the oldest Chelsea buildings that still survives is over there on 20th Street. It's be a nice, there's a nice photo store on 19th. Again, going a little bit east, so Chelsea proper, but these are all beautiful Chelsea buildings. 6th Avenue, lower part of Chelsea, or middle of Chelsea, somewhere here. The 20s was known as Ladies' Mile because of all the beautiful buildings and the stores that were created for ladies back in the previous centuries. Interesting junction here at 14th and 6th Avenue. On 14th Street we have the L train going into Brooklyn. We also have that orange line along most of 6th Avenue, which merges, so it's the F&M local line merges into the B and D express trains. And behind me is Greenwich Village. If you can see that, that is the library there, the Jackson Library, right beyond my big face. Let's see if I can turn it around and give you a glimpse. That's down on, I believe, 10th Street. So we're up on 14th, so a few blocks down. A different part of town now. 14th is the lower part of Chelsea. It starts here. That calls itself the Village West. I guess they like the name Village better than Chelsea, and they're technically, I guess that's the beginning of the village. There, we just walked by the Ladies' Mile, and we are walking across 14th Street. Beautiful restaurant, the Oasis Cafe, all prepped for dinner. Sunday night. Some of these stations have elevators. They're trying to put more and more in, but many subway stations do not have elevators, not wheelchair friendly. So it's important to check your schedule before you go and make sure that you're going to the stop, which is served by elevators if you do need that service. Anyway, here we go. Somebody's picking up something here from Auto. Must be a hot delivery site because there are many, many people waiting to pick up. And the YMCA, this is it's all under the scaffolding now. I've spoken about scaffolding before. It is the local law 11, which people need to follow. Buildings above 5 or 6 stories, you need to check siding of the building, bricks, stone, anything that might fall off onto the sidewalk and hit someone. So pretty sure that the YMCA on 14th Street is involved in that process right now. They have a beautiful pool, and a lot of people come down here to swim. Not as expensive as some of the fancy health clubs. On the other side is a very long-standing monument that is the Salvation Army. What do they fight? They fight poverty. I'm sure many people have heard of the Salvation Army. There's another beautiful building. It says Pratt. The Pratt Institute is another institute, university, school, whatever you want to call it, of design. Brooklyn used to be Lower Manhattan, and now it looks like this is one of the buildings they've taken up here on the lower southern side of 14th Street. We're walking across 14th. You can see the architecture is quite stunning compared, of course, to that, which probably came up 2 years ago. Maybe 3, maybe 5, who knows. Modern bread and bagel. Well, the coffee shops obviously are closed, but here's another nice thing we find out. In New York, we have empty lots, and some of them have been filled by gardens. This one might be a garden here, or slated for construction at some point. They have these amazing murals. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-story building, I think it is. And then there's another one on this side. Crazy, Frosty Freeze. The good thing about it is hardly anyone can get in there, and it's very high, so no one can vandalize the murals, as many of them are. Back to this beautiful Pratt Institute building. Got a nice Georgian restaurant. Where's Georgia? No, it's not a southern state. It is a country in Europe, the country of Georgia. It's a very specific culture, cuisine, former Soviet republic, which might still be under the throes of the regime. But this is one of their branches, Chamamama, authentic Georgian food. My side market, which is a branch going up by me. And look at the siding on this building. Gorgeous. This has all been cleaned up because back in the day, all these buildings were in a lot of disrepair. But now, many of them have been restored to the gems that they once were. We're going to walk across 14th here. This is an interesting subway stop. The 1, 2, and 3 trains somehow doesn't connect to the L except through a long passage underground. The L being the train that goes to Brooklyn. Also goes west, one more stop to 8th Avenue, and it's where you go to get to the meatpacking district. So this sort of boundary of Chelsea. Again, we look south, see parts of the village. There used to be St. Vincent's Hospital, now turned into fancy apartments, and there is a healthcare center there. So some of the mix of the area here. A convenience store on the corner, pawn shop. It's 14th Street and 7th Avenue, a pawn shop, barber shop, Irish bar, a donut pub, and crispy chicken pizza. Well, it changes from block to block, and as we go down 14th Street, we eventually end in the meatpacking district. It's some of the fanciest part of town right now. Whitney Museum, the High Line. Oh, nice little bar here. Fancy modern building. Opposite the pawn shop. Hayes Nail Salon. And there's a 99-cent pizza. Look at that. It's Soho. It's not even Soho. It's a Soho 99-cent pizza. So if you're really hungry, don't have any money, well, all you need is 99 cents. Relax, release, renew. Kinds of stuff you can buy. Just call these schlock shops. Just buy a bunch of stuff. And, ooh, yes, people love dispensaries. There were many, many, many illegal dispensaries. Edible arrangements. Now that's not a dispensary. That is where they put candy in the shape of bouquets so people can eat them. Gifts. You don't want to give flowers, you want to give candy, you give edible arrangements. I think there may have been fruits as well. And here, Sunday evening, old church here. Lady of Guadalupe, a lot of flowers. Look at this lovely little cafe. All on the same street, 14th Street. 100 years in Little Spain. At the Hudson Yards. Got bars over there. Chelsea living room. Nobody's here for some reason. Everything's laid out beautifully. All in there. Another dispensary. It's all the rage now. Don't like your life? Try going high. What that is, I have no idea. It says Tai Ping Yang. That's all I know. And we're coming to 8th Avenue. 8th Avenue has a subway, A, B, C. Actually, it's the C and E lines. C and E. I stand corrected. The place was a location of a nightclub. I think it still is. But the names have changed, patrons have changed. And here we have a very, very modern building. I believe it's an office building. I think I've been up there. One of the mortgage companies we work with. See Joey Chestnut eat. Not hot dogs, but dumplings, Chinese dumplings. He ate a lot of them. I don't remember how many. I had 2 on the rooftop. I believe it was last year, and he was banned. So Joey Chestnut, for those of you who do not know, champion hot dog eater, holds the all-time record for eating hot dogs at Nathan's on Coney Island on the 4th of July. Well, how much more New York can you get? If you like watching people eat a lot of hot dogs, that's the place to go. He was banned because he actually went for some no-meat brand, and so they canceled him. But this year he was back. So it was a little misunderstanding. Let's see some more of these. These little buildings here, little. They're not that little relative to some of the bigger buildings over there. That one, not nice. These were all bank buildings. Back in the day, banks had a lot of money, as they do today. They built fancy branches. You can see an eagle up there. Fancy bank building. Now, CVS. Not sure what that one is, but also former bank building. And if we missed it, that is a Gotham-looking building, a former telephone company building, turned into one of the most expensive condos. Walker Tower, that's also in Chelsea, on 8th Avenue, 111 8th Avenue. I used to come here back in the day when I worked for the city, and 111 8th Avenue is where they housed the computer systems for the city. Remember back in the day, computer systems didn't reside in a laptop or in server centers. They had huge rooms full of computer equipment, and 111 8th Avenue was one of those, was the building for the city of New York. This huge building, which housed, I don't know if it was belonged to the city of New York or it was rented to the city of New York, was then purchased by, Google $2 billion back in the day. One building, East Coast headquarters. So Google's East Coast headquarters took over a New York City computer building, and it's the whole block, 111 8th Avenue. There is an entrance to the subway here, the northern entrance to the ACE lines here on 14th Street. So it's an express stop. Also the last stop on the L train on the west side. So I'm in front of the Maritime Hotel, the PhD Lounge, which is at the rooftop. There's also the Dream Hotel. So it's a big complex with a lot of restaurants, obviously a hotel, venues, and Tao, the beautiful restaurant. A lot of Asian cuisine. Everything's very fancy. We're only about a block off from the meatpacking district and maybe 2 blocks. In front of me is the Google building, which I had just spoken about, 111 8th Avenue, and then we were walking west towards 9th Avenue. Do a little tour around this area and then get into Chelsea Market. It's like it's a restaurant here. I'm into this one. Dream Restaurant Bar. PhD, the entrance is here. Dream Downtown. And Maritime, which was actually constructed for people from the ships, not far from the Hudson River, where a lot of ships used to dock. Interesting time. Entrance, they're next to each other, and then Tao, which is very famous Asian themed restaurant, nightclub, big Buddha inside. As they say, we say Buddha, they say Buddha. And there's another one on 57th Street versus the downtown Tao. There are a lot of establishments in there. This complex, Maritime Hotel, Dream Hotel on 9th Avenue. And we're going to go across a little bit here to Chelsea Market. Behind me is Chelsea Market. We're on 9th Avenue here, a little above the meatpacking district. We're in 16th Street here. In front of me is the Google building that I just mentioned, where they purchased the whole block. The former name of the building was the Port Authority of New York. So it was owned by the Port Authority of New York. As I mentioned, I used to come here for computer things related to the city. So mainframes, if you know what that is. The way the city ran their computer systems back when I worked for them. But now, that's Google, and we're going to go see Chelsea Market. Chelsea Market was actually I believe, the original site of the Nabisco biscuit factory, National something biscuit factory, Nabisco today. But it's a beautiful reclaimed space, and we'll see in there it's got a lot of character, old-time feel, and a lot of new stores. Let's take a look. Budokan, a very famous restaurant with Tao behind me and Budokan in front. Both Asian themed restaurants. And the Google headquarters on the East Coast. This is the Port Authority building. And this is all part of Chelsea Market. So let's take a little walk through Chelsea Market. The old Nabisco building, where they started making biscuits. Through here, is that the main entrance? I think so. This corner is Anthropology. It's a clothing store, which most people have heard of. And across the street is a very fancy Starbucks. Starbucks Reserves, Roastery. The whole thing is Starbucks. 15th Street, and then look back at former National Biscuit Company. 15th to 16th Street Bakery, 1898 to 1958. And that's presented by Nabisco. But these are all the things that are here now. Quite an assortment. NY1 News, YouTube. That's why I look at these old floors, old walls, some memorabilia. Oh, Nita biscuit. I could get a clock. Nabisco clock. Graham wafers, saltines, premium. You probably had some of those. Some of you have seen those boxes. They don't have to be 108 years to have seen some of these. Those delivery vehicles. All right, so I'm going to walk you through Chelsea Market here. It's a massive stone bench. Not sure if that's Chelsea Market or it's the best. I don't think it's Nabisco. Let's put it that way. There is a waterfall in here somewhere. Let's keep walking here. Fresh flowers. No, it's even Chelsea Market shop. So I think you can buy items with the Chelsea Market logo. The flower shop is closed. It's a little after 8, so a lot of things probably closed at this point. These huge fans circulating the air. The elevators all lead to some of the offices. I think there might even be photo studios above. Lilac chocolates, fresh noodles, which they're no longer chocolates no good. There's some bars in the basement. Nice little coves here. So we're here on a Sunday evening, still pretty active. Amy's bread, no bread right now. Too late, very good bread. Gator Gallery. Porque Mia. A bit of Indian food here. Oh, here's the waterfall. Got a sign up here. Private well watering. Drought emergency. I don't think there's drought right now. Each market, Chelsea Market dedicates waterfall. Continuous encouragement flows through the heart of this building. Okay. No more. We'll just find pennies down there. And everything else celebrating. Chelsea Piers, which place is closed. Holland Pistol are open. But whiskey is. I get seafood here. Condiment candy, bagel. So it's still Sunday night after 8 o'clock. All places to go and enjoy at Chelsea Market. The old Nabisco factory. Exactly. Pearl River Mart, that's Chinese. Been here for 100 years. Well, not here. New York. Down in Chinatown. Stone benches, mostly local. More market downstairs. I know there's a good bar down there. Let's check this out. Art House. Tech House. Experience tomorrow's art today. Oh, this looks pretty ancient to me. Reel-to-reel tape recording. Wow. Old TVs. Chelsea Market gift card. You can use it anywhere. Their bathrooms down there. Imports from Marrakesh. Good. Wow. I wonder if anyone can afford those. I'm sure someone can. Tagines. Sarah Betts Bakery. Sarah Betts is a New York brand restaurant. Several of them around the city. They were in sex. Remember when they had books? Onigiri snacks and drinks. Chelsea Market basket, cards and books. Gelato. Very popular. Elevators here. Fred Mitchell event space. Tangled in the line. Joe Gelato. I know there's a little stand at the Lincoln Center. Got the exit here. So came in on 9th Avenue and we will exit on 10th Avenue. No idea if these things have anything to do with the biscuit factory. More food this way. Market 57 Food Hall by the James Beard Foundation. Pier 57. So this gives you a nice little map. Look at that. So this is the west side of Chelsea, where you just came through. You are here, Chelsea Market, and you go across, and this Pier 57 has a lot of attractions. Food mainly, views as well. And then that's Chelsea Piers Health Club. We went through the meatpacking district, and we did do the High Line in the previous video. Got a nice little bike path here, biking and walking all the way up and down the Hudson River. So you can't see the Hudson from here, but as soon as we pass these buildings, Google some sort of an offshoot, another building they bought. It's Pier 57. City Winery is a huge performance space, believe it or not. Lots of wine. Pier 57, City Winery. So again, we're at Pier 57, Market 57, Food Hall, and then to one side of me is City Winery, which is a huge establishment. Lots of food and wine and performance spaces. Ahead of you is the market. So this is a bunch of different establishments. Essex Pearl to Ummi, another Indian establishment. Some of this is closed off as well. Platform, the James Beard Foundation. We might be able to get up here. Sit here and work. That's chilled up. Skyline back there, and we have this. Ooh. Water on pixels. Water on pixels. Can't go out there. All right, this way to the Rooftop Park. When you get out there, it's a big enough elevator for all of us. That's me. And all of you who are on my video. in this beautiful elevator, heading up to the rooftop at Pier 57 on the Hudson River, right off of Chelsea. Let's see what this is about. There we are, the rooftop. Yeah, it's nice and warm out here. Beautiful views. I'll give you a little rundown here in a minute. There's more to go. That's the Empire State Building over there. One Highline, new condo buildings, been several times. Beautiful pool, amenities, and we've had some nice times there. Now there is Little Island. Little Island is another very modern park here in New York City. They put these pods in the water. And you don't see the pods when you're in the park. You're just walking around through various levels of park, but these people are all walking on to the Little Island. That's the Standard Hotel there that was walked under when we did the Highline video. And City Winery down there, which we just walked through. Sit on the water, sip some wine. And beyond all of this, downtown Manhattan. That's One World Trade Center, Freedom Tower, several buildings that are still being built down there. Some kind of pier with I think there might be a restaurant on one of them. A noisy helicopter or some kind of plane up here. It's a helicopter. But we have all of New Jersey. Well, the part that's across the Hudson River here is New Jersey City. And a tiny, tiny little bit of, you can see the Statue of Liberty with the naked eye, but I'm not sure if you can see. It's right above this pier thing. Statue of Liberty, Jersey City, all in New Jersey. So let's go see another part. We're still here at Pier 57, and we're going to walk to a different section of Pier 57. We're still on the rooftop. We are going to go, it's a nice vantage point. People like to sit on these stairs. All these stairs over here, some grass and lights. And here we have the northern views. I guess that's to the top of the stairs. Don't want to go up this way, that way, multiple ways. Seems like a nice boat over there, yacht on the river, Hudson River. That is probably Hoboken, that section of New Jersey. And this is Chelsea Piers. Chelsea Piers golf driving range. That's why you see all those nets. Golf balls don't go into the water. Chelsea Piers is a gym type location. So gym, plenty of pool, I think pools, ice skating rinks, and as you can see, that golf driving range. On the other side is, I believe, a Frank Gehry building. Architect Frank Gehry. This plane seems to be making a lot of noise here. Must be very exciting. Above is Hudson Yards. We did a video on Hudson Yards earlier. Maybe you've seen that one. If not, keep subscribing. Well, here we are on the Hudson River. This is a pier, Pier 57. It's been built up with a lot of restaurants and performance spaces, and this place is to lay out in the summer, enjoy some of the evening air, which is very pleasant tonight. Behind me is New Jersey. I think it's Hoboken, one of the sections right across from New York City. And in front of me, looks kind of like a ship, but it's part of the pier here. Seems to be a little party going on at the Little Island. So I think this part is Hoboken, that part over there is Jersey City. And all the darkness is the water. Some kind of party going on here at, oh, look at that, live performance. The Little Island. Tried to show you a little bit of Little Island from a distance. A little while ago, behind is the Whitney Museum. That's the end of the High Line at Whitney Museum, which goes through Chelsea and other parts of Manhattan, right into the village almost. High Line starts up by Hudson Yards, but this is all part of Chelsea. Sort of the outskirts of Chelsea because we're like out into the water. Our playgrounds over there. Of course, that's all downtown Manhattan. All right, Christopher Butt signing off here at Pier 57. Right off of Chelsea. All the music you hear in the background, live music, and that's going on at Little Island, park created not too long ago on the Hudson River. Follow, subscribe if you want to see more. Christopher Butt with the Corcoran Group here in New York City, showing you different neighborhoods, how you live in the city, and if you'd like a place to live here in Manhattan, I'm here to help you. If there are other parts of the country you need a realtor or a real estate agent, we can refer you. We have plenty of affiliates around the country. Just sold a place in Pennsylvania, a farm, far-reaching in terms of being able to help people. Christopher Butt and New York City.